Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Pentiment. Last time we left off we were hanging out over here, and we have to write to the Archdeacon and Esther again, so why don't we go ahead and do that, and we also gotta see what we're gonna write for the revolt in the mural. Alright, where to begin? I'll write to the Archdeacon, Jacob Essler, and see if he can tell me about the revolt. I'll write a letter to Esther, too. Hope the courier can make it through the passes before winter. Alright, let's get writing. Jacob Essler, formerly Archdeacon of Freising. My name is Magdalene Druckeren. I am an artist in the town of Tassing in Upper Bavaria. I believe you passed through our community when you investigated Baron Rothvogel's murder at Kiersau Abbey in 1518. Do you remember anything about that case that the people in Tassing might not remember? Particularly, do you remember anything about someone writing notes to provoke the killer? Did you see any evidence that might suggest there was some sort of larger conspiracy? Do you have any reason to doubt the conclusion? In particular, do you remember anything about someone writing notes to provoke the killer? More have appeared in Tassing in subsequent years, seemingly harbingers of death. Thank you for any help you can give. Magdalene Druckeren. Beautiful. And Esther. Dearest Esther, I hope you are well. You must know how tremendously happy I am for you and Simon. And Elisha too, of course, your parents. Warms my heart to know that your family is doing so well. By the time this letter reaches you, I expect winter will have enfolded Tassing. It's already freezing at night, so I have reorganized the workshop so that the inks don't deteriorate. Do you have to worry about that in Prague? You said it snows, but I always imagined it was warmer in winter. Dad's condition is so much worse, and he's in so much pain. Dr. Stoltz has been, well, he's been a useless asshole. Only God knows why he's such a bitter old man, but he's neglected Dad almost entirely. Some days he doesn't show up, and even if he does, he just snaps instructions at me and rushes off. I just wish I understood why. I worry about Dad. I've asked Agnes for help, but there's only so much we can do alone. He's not going to make it, and there's nothing I can do. Christ, I'm scared, Esther. The mural is progressing well, but I can't shake the feeling that someone is following me. I keep seeing this figure around town. After I explored the mines to see Tassing's early history, and then again in the Abbey ruins... Oh yeah, you just saw some snow fall down right there. Wouldn't it be creepy if a figure just appeared at the window? No one else in Tassing has seen anything, but some of the nuns say they've seen ghosts. Person who attacked my dad, why are they following me? Whoever it is, I'm not sure it's anyone from Tassing, but what do they want from me? Sure, it's not anyone from Tassing. No one else in Tassing has seen anything, but some of the nuns say they've seen ghosts. It's the strangest thing, giving me a fright a few times already. But I don't mean to worry you. Well, I mean, I doubt it's a ghost, because they very clearly had weight and a shadow. So... because we heard them running away, and we heard them move up too. Nothing's happened to me yet, so I think I'll be safe. The only good news I can share at the moment is that the mural is almost finished. I suppose if it was like a poltergeist or something, it could make some noise, and but this was clearly somebody walking and then running away, and they even opened a door. The only good news I can share at the moment is that the mural is almost finished. I should have it completed by Christmas, or soon after, before the new year at least. Then perhaps at long last I shall be able to visit you and meet this Simon. Anyway, I fear this will be my last letter of the year. The Reichspost has already been late, and reported worsening snows throughout the passes. We seem to be stepping into a harsh winter. Stay warm, and give my regards to your family and Simon. Yours always, Magda. There we go, and now a bunch of time is passing, and we gotta work on the final bit of the mural. Yeah, well, a bunch of time is gonna pass after I actually, leave here, so... I mean, we've set up the idea that nothing is really happening outside, right? Like, everyone's pretty much asleep and all of that. No, if Otz is out. I don't think there's any updates with the characters at this particular time, though. Like, I don't know, I don't feel like there is. I constantly feel the need to check everywhere at all times, but a lot of the places are just locked now, so... If it's not somebody that's standing outside, it's just... I'm not gonna get anything, so... I think we'll just head back home and nap. But, God, there's always a part of me that's like, I'm missing something. How did this get here? Ugh. Stop. This is just like the note Dad found. Are they trying to scare me? And if I don't stop, are they going to try to kill me next? I need to ask Dad about this. It can't be a coincidence. There's that weird noise again. It must be Xbox. I've turned off notifications. I don't know why it's doing that. He's been so weak. I don't want to upset him. I just need to wait for the right time. I hope there is a right time. It's late. Should get some rest. Let's go to sleep. I don't like this. They know I'm working on it now, and they're not happy about it, it seems. Oh, Magdalene. I don't want anything to happen to you. Oh, come on, it's cold. It's snowing outside. Put the covers over you. I know why they don't. Poor video game characters, never getting to use the covers. Except, weirdly, in Deadly Premonition. Of all games, Deadly Premonition has the character get under the covers, and it's actually blanket physics. That's the reason you usually don't see characters get under covers in video games, because the blanket physics would be a nightmare. Oh, look at your little scarf thing! Mr. Struckren, only one letter for you today. Thank you. The pass is nigh impossible to traverse, and the heavy snow is hard on the horse and me. Anyway, happy Advent, my dear. Thank you. Same to you. Beautiful. Is it from... probably Esther? No. Okay, so okay, it didn't make it to Prague, but we did get a reply from you. I didn't expect you to reply, honestly. Ah, a reply from Jacob Estler. Mr. Struckren. I do recall the Rothvogel case, though it has been over a decade since I have served as an Archdeacon. I am no longer associated with the office of the Prince Bishop. In fact, I am no longer associated with the Catholic Church. If you do not mind conversing with a Lutheran, I will tell you what I remember. Ah, okay, you became a Lutheran. That's interesting, You just said, screw the Catholic Church. Gotcha. The notes you mentioned do stir something in my memory. One of the men I questioned at Kiersau was an artist from Nuremberg, Andreas Maler. He mentioned finding notes written in a fine hand inciting individuals to violence against the Baron. While the scope of my investigation was too narrow to look into the matter, it did concern me. Finding more notes now, after so many years, must mean that their author is still active. If this is the case, the serpent has loin coiled in the bosom of your community for decades. It may lay there still. What causes a serpent to awake every few years to stage a new killing? I fear that finding the answer to that question may draw you into its reach. However, if you are determined to find the source of the trouble, I believe you must inquire with your neighbors. I urge caution in your investigation into this matter. If the serpent merely sleeps, it may be dangerous to poke into its old resting places. I hope this has been of some use to you. May God bless and keep you safe. Jacob Estler. Okay. Well, that's a big change. We haven't heard about any of the other people of the church becoming Lutherans, so... No reply from Esther this time. Must have been delayed due to this heavy snow. Postman said I won't receive any more letters until spring. Better get back to the Rathaus then. Still more work to be done. Are we not going to have the opportunity to talk to people? Days are passing. Okay. Oh, we're almost at, we're at Christmas Eve. Okay. Good morning, Dad. I finally caught up on the mural and now I can start the final part today. I promise I'll get it done. Magdalene, I'm proud of you. Thanks, Dad. I'm sorry Dr. Stoltz said you can't come to the festivities tonight. I know how much you love the Perchtenlauf. Germanic folk ritual celebrated around Christmas time in which townsfolk dressed as Perchten and drive evil spirits from the town to protect it from the coming new year. Cool. There's always next year. Right. How are you feeling? Dr. Stoltz said he would come by again today. Fine, I'm fine. Stay home. Are you sure? Do you need anything? No, go on, I'm alright. In fact, my spirits are lifted today. It's Christmas Eve, after all. Of course. What's wrong? Dad, I found a note back in November. A note? What do you mean? It was like a note I found in your plans for the murals. Just a scrap of parchment. It looked like it came out of an old manuscript. Elaborate writing, purple ink. It just said, stop. Do you know where they came from? Who wrote them? Magdalene, Oh god, that must be Otz. He said he dropped by with more firewood. If you know something, I'd like you to tell me, alright? I know, I will. Could we talk about it later? I don't think you're gonna be here later. I think they're gonna kill you to get at me before that happens. Or you're just gonna die. Dad... I'll tell you, I promise. I don't think you will. Alright. And it's not outside of you, it's outside of your control. I'm sure you think you're going to tell me, but I'm sure you're going to be murdered or kick the bucket before I can. Good. Take care of yourself out there. Klaus, can't you just tell me? I also don't even know if this is Otz. What if this is someone that's about to hit me over the head? I don't trust it one bit. Grab something. Grab that fire poker, Magdalene. Grab that thing. Come on, we need a weapon. Fire poker? No? Come on, fire poker's a good weapon. Okay, it is just Otz. Whew. Morning, Magdalene. Morning, Otz. Cold out, isn't it? Freezing. Makes me envy Nico, able to stay inside all day. Even Andreas has his forge to keep him warm. Anyway, here. Brought some firewood for you and your dad. Damn, you guys need some gloves. Thank you, Otz. You're welcome. So, how's your dad? You think he can join everyone for Christmas Mass? I think I'll stay in bed tonight. I'll do my best to be there. Need to keep working on the mural, though. Working on the final section. At the Peasants' Revolt, right? Feels weird to talk about it. It felt like Tassing so much, but we were just kids. Can't remember what happened since I was just a baby. I never even knew my dad. That's what makes it difficult. Need to ask those who were already adults that night, but don't want to touch raw nerves. What if you spoke to people while everyone's preparing for the Christmas festivities? Clara sometimes talk about that night. Mom, too. You might be able to ask them. Wojslav and Matilda are the only two Benedictines left living in Tassing. Maybe they'll talk to me. Huh, I didn't think of that. Still, the mural is for Tassing, not the old abbey. Agnes has always been in Tassing, right? I'd go to her if I were you. Dad said she helped bury everyone who died that night. I wonder if she'd talk about it. It's your project, Magdalene. Might be worth a try. Wrote to the old Archdeacon about it too. He thinks that the Baron's murder and Otto's death are connected to the revolt. The who? The man who came to Tassing for the Baron Varthlogel's murder. It doesn't matter. What if all the deaths in Tassing are connected? Let's say this one. I don't see how that old Baron has anything to do with the revolt. Are you feeling alright? I think you're looking for connections that aren't there. Maybe this mural project's getting to you. I need to get to the bottom of this, Otz. There's something more to this, I know it. Maybe you're right, I just can't shake this feeling someone is following me. I don't think you're right. We know something's going up. We know something's going on. I'm not gonna say, oh, you're useless, but you are, you know, being a bit mean to me right now. Telling me, oh, no, you're crazy. Need to get to the bottom of this, Otz. There's something more to all this, I know it. If you're sure. Figure it out somehow. Thanks for the wood. See you later, Mags. Look at me like I'm crazy. Ugh. Otz is right. I should start talking to people around town. Gotta get started if I want to talk to everyone before the Perchtenloff. Remembering the revolt. The revolt of 1525. God, look at how beautiful it is with the snow. I want some snow. Basically everyone else in the world right now is getting snow, but my state, it feels like. Or my specific area of the state. So, I mean, I'm going to talk to everyone. We have a few very specific updates to look for, but need to get work on the last part of the mural, but Alt said he'd stop by this morning. I should go out to meet him. Alt had some good suggestions for my investigation. Many of the participants and witnesses of the peasant revolt are still alive in Tassing. I should speak with Agnes about what she remembers. Clara's husband was right in the middle of everything. I should talk to her as well. Probably a lot of people gathering at the Golden Hand to prepare for the Christmas feast. Some of them must have memories about what happened. What about, like, Gertrude and Marguerite? I mean, they were kind of around all of this while it was going on. Why don't we go check that stuff out first? You know, even Smokey and stuff might have something to say. Anna? Nothing. Paul? Nothing. Else? Nope. Okay. Ulrike and Andreas probably aren't going to be able to tell me anything. Where were you on the night of the revolt, kids that weren't even born yet? Alrighty, let's go to the meadow. And then we can get over to the Abbey just to check. I mean, we've seen before that it doesn't always give you, like, an indication of someone that has something new to say. So, it's still... Oh, the Abbey's just straight up locked. Too snowed in. Won't be able to visit the poor Claris for a while. Interesting. Well, that's why you didn't mention Gertrude. Man, being snowed into the convent, that... I don't know, I like the idea of being snowed in anywhere, basically. I just like the idea of being snowed in. I remember when I was young, I used to always fantasize about, getting snowed in at school. Like, no one could leave the school, and everyone just had to have, like, a slumber party at the school. It was always such a whimsical, fun idea to me. Even if it would not be very fun, I'm sure. Waterfall is always so beautiful. We're lucky even during the winter it never fully freezes over. Yeah, because it's moving. I can't get to the salt mine. Oh, it's so beautiful. I think it's so nice. At least Smokey's got the charcoal and stuff to keep him warm. Oh, wait. Oh, do you not stay back there right now? What are you two just doing out here? Hello again, Magdalene. Are you getting ready for the Christmas celebrations? Of course, along with everyone else in town. Never been here for Christmas. I'd meant to move on, but the snow. Right. Came fast this year. Smokey told me your father was injured. How is he? I think he's going to be alright. It'll just take some time. Good. Glad to hear it. Well, I don't want to keep you from your tasks. Václav, do you want to come to the Christmas feast? Huh. Kind of you to offer. My beliefs and my... well, how I look. It's best if I stay out here. I'll be fine, but thank you. Oh. I'll see you later then. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Václav. Merry Christmas. Oh, I want Václav to be able to hang out with us. At least you're cool, Smokey. Oh. It sucks. Well, I'm not going to talk to Thomas, because it said, you know, don't rouse the snake, you know? Maybe I just don't talk to Father Thomas about it, you know? Maybe I just ignore Father Thomas. Because I think he's the snake. I think it's Thomas. That is what I think. I'm sticking to my guns on this. He's been here since the beginning, whereas a lot of characters at this point have not been here since the beginning. Man. Yeah, it must suck to work on a farm. Winter is always the worst in, like, the farming simulator games. Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley, and stuff. You always gotta find stuff to keep you occupied, and it can be a little bit hard. Hey, Big Jorg. Gret. Bless you, Magdalene. Oh, you're all making the masks. Hey, Ursula. Hello, Magdalene. Peter? Magdalene? Anybody in the bedroom? Oh, hey, Artemis. And Apollo. Why so many animal noises? I don't see any animals up here. Weird. Okay. Maybe those sound effects are in the wrong area? Something, I mean, their animals have to be somewhere for winter. Maybe we're close to, like, where they have them all locked up. Clara, I needed to talk to you. Hello, Magdalene. Would have thought you'd be working on the mural today. What brings you here? I would like to sit with you and ask how you remember the rebellion so that I can paint it, if that's alright. That was a sad time. It will help you memorialize those we lost in the revolt. Yes, I'll answer a few questions. I don't mind. I was a little older than you, so I probably remember more, Magdalene. Of course, Magdalene. We'll tell you all we know. Been looking forward to seeing the mural for some months. Come now, sit with us. I like Ursula. Ursula's cool. Now that you're all settled, what did you want to know? Did the revolt have anything to do with the other murder that happened in Tassing? Oh, the murder of the Baron, you mean? No, not really. I only remember that Andreas attempted to be a peacekeeper in both situations. I suppose that's when things started going poorly. Yes, after Prior Ferink was discovered as a witch, people weren't as willing to trust the Abbey anymore. Then the abbot became more severe. He didn't like that the prior's death rattled his control of Tassing. I wonder how much differently things would have been if I hadn't accused Ferink. Damn, this game is cool. I still think the old prior cursed the town. That's when the crops started failing. I don't know about any of that, but his taxes and restrictions and his attitude toward us became harsher after that. It was all we could do to live by them, but it eventually became too much. Even with all the restrictions, was the revolt really justified? I keep hearing conflicting stories about how it began. I know things are bad for the peasants, but was it worth all the loss? I thought the peasants stormed the abbey unprovoked, and the Landsknechts had to be called in. They didn't storm the abbey unprovoked. I mean, there were reasons. I know things are bad for the peasants, but was it worth all the loss? You wouldn't remember it, Magdalene, but the abbot forced us to starvation. We would have died either way. We did everything we could to keep things from getting violent, but the Lord had other plans. Yeah, see? I remember how sick and hungry I was all the time. Grandpa kept saying it hadn't always been like that. All was fine until Martin killed Otto in revenge over some petty dispute. Well, my husband wouldn't let that rest. We all wanted justice. When that soldier arrived and threatened us, all the townsfolk pulled away, except for you and Ulrich, Gret. Oh, Clara, I'm afraid even I was intimidated and begged Ulrich to leave the matter be. My husband alone stood with the peasants. Why did all the peasants revolt anyway? So many people died. They must have known it wouldn't succeed. Dad always talks about how he regrets that choice. That's why he wanted to paint the mural. Could the revolt have succeeded if the townsfolk didn't pull away? I don't think it could have succeeded. I don't think it could have succeeded at all. I think it was going to be put down by the military no matter what. Dad always talks about how he regrets that choice. That's why he wanted to paint the mural. Your father is unique in that regard. Most of the other townfolk see the revolt's failure as proof that it was doomed from the start. Truly, if the entire town banded together, we likely could have succeeded without violence at all. By then, we were so starved and wanted justice so much, Peter truly thought success was possible. There was still some discussion. Ulrich and Andreas wanted peace. Then that fucking Miller protected that bastard. He always hated us, thought he was better than us. Ursula, language! Nah, you tell him, Ursula. What, Mom? It's true. Linhardt even shot Ulrich out of nowhere. People don't just shoot one another without cause. It was unprovoked, or people don't just shoot one another without cause. I mean, Linhardt's kind of an asshole. It was unprovoked? Yes, Linhardt always did hate the rest of the townfolk, and he would take advantage of anyone he could. My husband sought peace to the last. He was a martyr to us. I think the Miller shot Ulrich to retaliate, but after that, Peter couldn't be stopped. We'd lost too much. The burning of the Abbey was a grim night, and the soldiers coming in. Our men fought to protect us, to protect Tassing, and many died in that fight. Yeah, I wish they just hadn't burned the Abbey, of all things. I really thought, you know, kind of steering the conflict away from the Abbey by incriminating Martin would have saved it, but no. We got rid of the abbot and all the monks at least. Yes, and that is some comfort, if only a little. Are there any heroes of Tassing I should memorialize? Dad, definitely. Peter always wanted the best for Tassing, even if he acted rashly by setting fire to the Abbey. I hope you can portray him in the best light, Magdalene. I'd rather not talk about that night anymore. I hope you provided enough insight for your work. I guess I can work with what you said. I won't ask you anything further. You did. Thank you. I'll let you get back to work. Thank you, Magdalene. I'm certain the mural will be beautiful. I'm certain some people would not like if I make Peter out to be fantastic in it. That might not be the best call. But because Peter did burn the Abbey. I mean, like he said, he lost control of his anger and burned the Abbey. Everybody makes mistakes and everything, but that caused a lot of issues. If it could have just been left at Martin and Linhart, things would have been fine, and we could have just let the abbot go. But Peter had so much hatred for the abbot at that point and everything that had happened that he kind of just went off the deep end. We'll see what my other options are for portraying the revolt. You know, maybe I'll get the option to portray Andreas. I don't know. Hi, Black Till, Eva, Christina, Magda. Yep, that's me. Let's you know, so we did all the farms. Let's just go check in with the church really quickly. I will probably try to avoid bringing too much up with Thomas if I can, because I suspect the absolute hell out of him. But we'll see. I wish you, Amalier, had heard something. Oh no, you're not here. Interesting. Mary Mother Jesus. Painting's been here as long as I can remember. Huh, you might be at the inn. You might be at the Golden Hand. That's probably where I'm gonna go last. Let's go check out Central Town here. I'll probably end this episode off soon too, because I still gotta get it up today. There's Agnes. Yep, they're working on the costumes. Okay, yeah, I should probably talk to them, but yeah, like I said, before we get into anything super long again, I think we're gonna have to go ahead and end this episode off here. A little bit pressed for time today, so... Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Pentiment, and I'll see you next time for some more.